Hey, it's Phil. I'm out on a one night or an overnight, maybe a 2 night. I got enough food for 2 nights, but I'm out on a little overnighter plus this weekend, long weekend for Memorial Day. And just figured it'd be a good time to spend it outside. Weather's supposed to be fairly good. Tomorrow we get a little cloudy. I think a little rain tomorrow night, but not much. Nothing I can't handle if I do want to stay out. So the reason I stopped here in this strange looking background is I figure most people like maple syrup, right? So what the hell's biting me on my neck? Anyway, most people like maple syrup, so I figured I would just give a little this is step 1 and step 2 in the production of maple syrup. So there's a maple tree, obviously, and the sap from that maple tree gets picked out of, or drained out of that tap right there, and goes into that blue hose, which, as you can see, there's blue hoses all over the damn place. And they all run to a bigger hose, which runs to a bigger hose, which runs to like a pipe eventually, which goes to the maple, the sugar farm. Yeah, so this is where it comes from. Why is it blue, or why are the hoses blue? I think it's a color that animals see more vividly than we do, just to help them avoid running into them, not for their sake, but for the sake of the guy who's got to come out and fix them on his 50, 60, 70,000 trees. Yeah, that's how you get your Aunt Jemima, or what the hell are they? Anyway, that's how you get your maple syrup. True maple syrup, not maple flavored corn syrup. Buy the good stuff. I get nothing if you do. It's just better. So what I'm hiking on now is an old logging road. You can see it looks like just a grass path, and it's wide enough for a semi from the same field. So yeah, it makes for a nice, easy walking. A lot easier on the feet than the rocks. A lot easier on the knees than the rocks. And because of how easy it is on the feet, I can wear my trail runners, which also makes it easier on the knees. So it's a win-win for me, carrying a light pack, wearing light shoes, and on a very easy trail. So I'm not complaining. Later. Well, I see somebody left some firewood for me. Holy cow, yeah. I could burn some of this stuff, or at least those cut off pieces, something to sit on at least, rather than sitting on the... This looks as good a place as any. Set up my tent, so here we go. So basically it's just a sheet of nylon, or I think this is polyester, and there's no floor to it, it's just a roof. Well, maybe I do have the floor in here, shit. Yep, I do have the floor, good. So anyway, they go up pretty easily. They're light, that's their biggest, light and simple, that's their biggest, what's the word I'm looking for? Biggest attraction. I don't know. And you use a trekking pole to set it up. So I'm gonna put the door there. Okay, I'm gonna try you right here. I'll give it about 5 or 6 more inches in. Like I said, I haven't used them too many times because of the bugs, but I have used it, and I do like it. Okay, so that just holds the bottom of the bottom flap of the door. This will go, call it here. Hopefully you can hear me. carry a hammer with me, but not always. Sometimes it's good enough just doing it like this. All right. So that's the majority of the setup. What? There's a crazy spider here. You didn't even see it. A white thing, like a crab spider. King crab spider. The stuff of nightmares. All right, so there's the tent. I'm gonna stake out the ends. The two guy lines that go on each end, or one on each end. And what they do is they pull the ends up a little bit to give you a little more headroom and foot room. So I'll go ahead and flip that on. All right, there's the tent set up. Bring this over. See, taut line hitch. Adjust this a little. I think that's looking at it. Pretty close. Yep. So you can just slide it down and slide it up, and it'll lock it in place. Geniuses. I never would have thought of that with a rope. I still get this. Tie the door open. There's the toggle. Now the floor goes in. Like I said, I totally forgot that I had this thing in the bag with the tent. I hope no moose comes running down through here tonight. Going to the water, which I'm trying to stay a little bit away from, just to for that exact reason. But you know, they got to get to the water. I hope no moose or bear comes running down through here and messes up my tent. See, now here's the fun part. My knees are bad. Getting down, God, I hate getting down is not so bad, not as bad because I got gravity to help me. Getting back up again is the fun part. So don't laugh. I know I'm gonna look like a friggin' baby giraffe trying to stand up for the first time, but here we go. One knee. Two hands. The other knee. That wasn't too bad. Shut up. It wasn't too bad. You should see me on a bad day. Thank you. Thank you. So there's that. Tent set up. No catastrophes. The tarp, the tent, is a 6 Moon Designs Deschute tarp. And I got that, I don't know, geez, about 4 years ago. I probably only used it 3 or 4 times. Does the job. So I'm gonna go ahead and inflate my air mattress now, which is a Nemo equipment. Tensor Trail, I think. Whatever it is, it's definitely a warmer weather pad. So it comes with a pump sack. And this one, I like the I don't like the narrow mouth on it too much, but you basically just blow in it to fill it up. And so what you're doing is you're blowing air in, and it's not just the air in your mouth or from your mouth, but let me put my science hat on now. It uses Bernoulli's principle, in that a low pressure area will draw in air behind it. So as I blow air in there, it's creating low pressure behind the air, which pulls some in. Don't I sound smart? I read that in a book somewhere. Ah, you bastards. I think that's it. That should be good. I can always let it out if I need to. Let some air out for comfort. You don't want to be sleeping on a board. The next thing, one of the more important things for a good night's sleep. And if you don't believe me, try sleeping on your bed at home without one. You got it. It's a pillow. And this is a little inflatable pillow with a fabric insulated cover I bought. And it has a little, no, I stole it really. But has a little elastic strap to hold it onto the sleeping pad so you don't chase it around the tent all night. This is by Big Sky International, and it's creatively named the Deluxe Pillow. By the way, I mention these companies. I don't get anything from them for mentioning them. So, just over quite a long time, I've tried things out. And when I find something that works for me, I'll just give a shout out, and might save someone a little or a lot of hassle and expense finding what does work and what doesn't. Sleeping bag, the Western Mountaineering Everlight, a 45-degree bag, and with my sleep layer that I'll be using tonight, it'll be good down to below 45 if necessary. So, got a down jacket for while I'm sitting around. Now I can. Woodpecker! Oh boy, an anthill. I hope they're not climbing on. There's a couple of them. I hope they're not friggin' climbing on me all night. Oh well. Should look around better before I set up my tent, I guess. There's my home for the night. And after that exciting bit of footage, I am gonna shut the camera off, and I gotta go a couple hundred yards to get water, with running water, and so I'm gonna go fill up 2 bottles of water right now, and I got some rocks right over there that I can sit on, and I'm gonna cook up some tasty dinner, which I don't have. The pack I'm using today, one I got last year, and I think I've used it 1 or 2 times on day hikes. It also, like my tarp, it's made by 6 Moon Designs, and it is the White East Day Pack. It's a 30-liter pack, nice and simple. Just has a nice stretchy mesh pocket on the front, 2 on the sides for water bottles and other stuff. A pocket up here in the lid, 2 shoulder strap pockets, 1 and 2 2 hip belt pockets 1 and 2, and that's it. No zippers, no other crap on it. And one thing I do like that it has, which I already took out, but it has a foam pad that goes in this little Velcro compartment here, which makes up the actually gives the back, the back of the pack some rigidity, so it's not just like flopping around like a paper bag. And you can take that out and use it as a little foam pad to sit on, which I have over here at my in my dining area. A little pot with fuel can is in there, but yeah. So I'm gonna have my seat, my footrest, and my cooking area. What more can you ask for? All right, I'm going to get this thing. Phone's dying, so I'm going to switch to the other camera. Hook the power bank up to this, and get some food in me. All right, got the other camera going, and now it is time to get some food going. So, let's see what we got for dinner tonight. And it is with a flavorful shredded pork with a green chili sauce, cheese, eggs, corn, and black beans with corn tortilla chips. Dehydrated, so yeah, I gotta add water, so the tortilla chips are not gonna be crispy unless you take them out, but no, it doesn't. Doesn't say to take them out. So anyway, I'm gonna get this thing going. I need 12 ounces of water. So let me pour. I'm probably going to short it a little bit because they tend to be watery. So I'm going to go, okay, that's a little at a time. This thing boils water fast too, so that's a little under, okay, that's a little bit more. There. Open fire, and this thing, like in a minute and a half, that water will be boiling. See, I talk, I don't do two stupid things: open the bag and take out the oxygen absorber. I talk instead of doing that, and I run out of my spoon. I better have my big spoon. There you are. Big, long-handled titanium spoon. All right, so 12 ounces of water go in the package. You stir. Smells good. So, white-throated sparrow. Those are all over the place. I'm surprised this is the first time I've heard one. Cool sounding bird. There. Yeah. So I got to re-stir my chilaquiles verdes with carnitas. And re-stir it. Rehydrate a little more. Soak up a little more of that water. Looks good to go. So, okay, finish one word before saying another. Looks good though. It's got nice big chunks of pork, a lot of corn, a lot of beans. I guess all the things that aren't pork, corn, or beans are probably the tortilla chips. There should be there's eggs too. There's eggs, yeah. I've got T-Mobile is my cell carrier. Used to be AT&T, and they got bought by, no, not AT&T, US Cellular. They got bought by T-Mobile, and two things that's cool about T-Mobile. One is they don't do roaming. So I'm up here a couple miles from the Canadian border, and I don't have to pay extra if I'm bouncing off a Canadian cell tower. So I don't even know if I don't know if I am. I don't know if it's going to tell me. When it was U.S. Cellular, I would get a text that would, it would say, "Welcome to Canada," as I'm still 5 or 6 miles or 2 miles or whatever inside the U.S. But I'm bouncing off a Canadian tower, so never got one with T-Mobile. So that's good. And the other cool thing is I can use the Starlink satellite network on my phone when there's no cell service or Wi-Fi. And it's a very low bandwidth. It's for sending like text messages, and that's it. But this is pretty good. Oh, there's green stuff in there. Okay, they're just not whole slices. I'm going to put you there, maybe. Oh, before I do that, chilaquiles verdes con carnitas. It's pretty good. That's definitely going in my will eat again menu choice. Okay. This is good. This is a tasty burger. So look at this. That is a big piece of pork, yo. Good. Holy cow. So what I'm doing tonight is I'm leaving my food up here. So that way if something does come along and try to smell my food and try to get at it, it'll be up here and not by the tent where I am. But because there's black bear around here. I think if anything, it's more likely it'll be a raccoon, but still. I haven't seen any bear tracks. I've seen some moose. No bear tracks, but I mean, what's the chances that I happen to be looking down at just the right time? One of the other mountains I hike on a lot around here, there's a lot of springs, but from the meltwater and or the groundwater, and as the year progresses, like by the end of summer, a lot of the springs are drying up. So you can go up there like now, and there'll be water running down the face of rocks, and or dripping off. And it's got moss and stuff. And you just take your bottle and hold it underneath, and then you can fill it. You can filter it, fill one bottle, fill another, however many you have, drink, refill it, and then you got all the water you need for camp when you get there in 20 minutes or whatever. And what was I going to say? A few years ago, I went up, and it was end of August, so there was like very little water, and there was just there was some moss on the edge of this rock, and it was just like drip, 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 drip. So I'm standing there balanced like in a real awkward position on 2 different rocks with 1 foot and about 2 inches of water, where I wasn't going to take it out of that because it filters bacteria and viruses and stuff down to, I think, 1/10 of a micron, something like that. It's got like a 99.99% filter efficiency, but it doesn't do anything for taste. So, like, say something had peed or pooped and that was in the water there, it wouldn't be harmful, but it wouldn't taste good. So I'm standing with my foot in that little bit of water, and it took so long to fill this bottle once, drink it all, fill it again, fill 1 water bottle for the night, fill it again, second water bottle for the night, fill it again, put it all in my pack. So I got 3 liters of water for drinking and cooking, evening meal, drinking overnight, brushing my teeth, washing my hands, breakfast meal, and water to start off the day. I sat there, I stood there uncomfortably for like 20 minutes. I had sat there, I was there standing still for so long that this little bird came and perched on my foot and was like taking a bird bath while standing on my foot. So I had to look it up, and it was called a golden crowned kinglet, and it was the cutest little bird. Tiny little thing like that, and it had a brighter orange than that head or crown on it, and yeah. I had to look up golden crowned, or I had to look up to find that it was a golden crowned kinglet. And what the hell time is it? 7 o'clock, I bet. Come on, let's do some. Holy cow, 7:41. What am I going to do tonight? I've got 1 bar of LTE, probably because of Canada being so close. And there, I don't know, there's a mountain between, well, Canada goes all that way, so. But anyway, I've got 1 bar of LTE, which is what I get at home, or I'll get 5G at home usually, but that's pretty impressive. So the signal strength is the same here in the middle of nowhere as it is at home, which is also in the middle of nowhere. Well, I realize it's getting dark out. Why do my glasses do that? Am I really that blind that like they make my face narrower, or are they just wide? I can't stand those little granny glasses. I don't like having just a tiny little circle of lens in front of my eye, because all that unfocused blurry shit around them would mess me up. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. As you can see, it's getting dark out. Nobody has to look at my ugly mug, just my ugly silhouette. But I'm gonna get in the tent, get ready to go to sleep, and read for a while, and fall asleep, I guess. Hopefully. Hopefully don't wake up a million times during the night. I usually do. Every part of my body hurts. I got a shoulder that it hurts. Sleeping hurts my shoulder. And I haven't slept on this. Have I slept on that pad? Yeah, I must have. But hopefully it's comfortable to the shoulder for the most part. Yeesh. But yeah, I think it's time to crash. So I'm gonna provisionally call this a night. I'm gonna put my bug zapper up on the hang it from the loop on the inside of the tent, and it does have a light, so I can just cycle that on if I need to, if some like really monumentally important thing comes up during the night and I need to get it on film for the edification of everybody watching this. And otherwise, I'm going to bed. I'm going to hit the sack, hit the bag, and I will catch you guys in the morning. So good night. Good morning, everyone. I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of a crappy night. When I did sleep, I slept well, but the problem is I was just a little bit of an incline. Nothing I'd never notice if I was just lying right on the ground, like on my back, no pad or anything. But pad, I found out I had I didn't notice when I put it in, but I found I had the floor upside down for the tent, and I think the one side is more slippery than the other. Boy, that pad moved all over the place last night. Off the sleeping bag it would move out from underneath the sleeping bag, put it that way. So yeah, it was. I'd wake up, have to, my feet would be outside of the tent with the pad out the other side of the tent. But overall, yeah, it wasn't bad. It got chilly. I had to get up in the middle of the night and put my jacket on inside the sleeping bag because, like I said, it was chilly. But it was pretty good, other than not sleeping too well. Like I said, which I do that all the time. Never sleep well. It wasn't too bad of a night. So what do I need? I need 1 cup of boiling water, so a little less than a cup. 8 ounces, about 240 milliliters. That's too much. Dump some out. Dump a little bit out. So, I still haven't decided, but I'm pretty sure I'm just going to head in, go home. I don't know. But I got to pack up either way, so I'll make the final decision when I'm all packed up. But like I said, I'm thinking heading in because it's not supposed to be any warmer tonight than it was last night. And like I said, I was chilly last night. Not bad. I mean, I just kind of rolled over on my side, crunched in a little bit in the fetal position, and just fell off the pad even more. But once I got the jacket on, I was comfortable, but that wasn't, and I don't want to go to bed with it on because that might be too warm. So I guess that's my long way of saying if I was going to stay out again, I'd want my next warmest sleeping bag. So, and I'm not going all the way to the end to get it and then come back out. So, I'm just going to go in and I'll do some other stuff today. I got to mow my lawn. Got some other stuff I need to do. I got so much stuff to do. I could talk about the rest of it all. Talk about it the rest of the day and not be done. So, I'm going to open this up. Why do I forget to do things all the time? I'm going to keep my mind on what I'm doing, not what I need to do. And my water's boiling now. A little oxygen is there, but they should, there it is. They should just put it on the inside of the lid, the tear off portion of the bag. Just tape it, or otherwise glue it, stick it, adhere it. Oop, now I gotta get my spoon out of the food bag where I put it to keep any questing ants off the thing. Did I put it in here? Yeah, there it is. Put a suck without no spoon. Ingredients: cooked pork sausage crumble, potato dices, scrambled egg product, which is whole eggs, cornstarch, salt, citric acid, xanthan gum, red bell peppers, green bell peppers, onions, iodized salt, black pepper. Now the stuff I ate last night had a lot more, I don't want to say chemicals, I don't think it was chemicals like preservatives. Maybe they just used the more scientific names for these things, but that should be fine. But it had a lot of different stuff in it, so I'm gonna have to read that in a minute and see exactly what the differences were. As good as it was, I would have to say a lot of bad stuff for me not to buy it again. Oh, God. I didn't dream about it last night. It was good, but it wasn't that good. What did I dream? I don't even know. I never remember my dreams. That's probably a good thing. Okay. So we got, let that sit. So last night's meal was the chilaquiles. Get out of the way. Yeah, this one had, okay, see. It was just a lot of other, there's a lot of other stuff. Okay, so there's vegetable oil. That alone takes up 2 lines. May contain one or more of the following. Blah, 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 blah. Cheese. It tells you, like, the ingredients of... I mean, I guess they all do, so this must just have that much more ingredients than the other stuff. I don't see anything that's, like, FD and C number 5 or any crap like that. Yeah. So no, this wasn't the backpacking food equivalent of American cheese. Chicken flavor broth, low sodium, which is maltodextrin, salt, torula yeast, dehydrated vegetables, which is part of this. So onion, celery, parsley, spinach, garlic, carrot, potato flour, xanthan gum, spices, extractives of spice, including turmeric and paprika. So that is all the ingredients of chicken flavor broth, low sodium. Yeah. I'd still be reading this if I'd read it off on video last night. Feathers, down clusters poking out of my jacket. Good thing this stuff that I ate last night only had 7 grams of sugar for the whole package. Stuff from this morning, the breakfast skillet, 9 grams of sugar, 5 grams of dietary fiber. Jeez, just making up words. 36 grams of carbs. What was that one? I don't even remember. 21 something. But potatoes, so 46 grams. Okay. And I woke up a little before 6:30, and got up then. And of course, I wake up and I immediately start yawning. It's probably, I don't know, 7:30 now at the latest. I can't tell because my clock's on the other side of my phone, which I'm looking at right now. Anyway, so I don't know, it's probably 7:30 right now. And so when I'm done eating, I'm gonna pack everything up here, pack the rest of my stuff up, and head back. It's probably 2.5 miles back to my pickup. I walked up that way a little bit yesterday and back, and then down to the water and back. So that probably totaled a half mile, maybe a little more than a half mile. Ugh. Didn't hear any critters last night. No angry bullwinkle. Who's a bear? Ben from Grizzly Adams. No angry Ben. Heard birds and frogs. And a lot of chipmunks and probably red squirrels. Those are more this morning though. I think they're not nocturnal. They're diurnal. Ugh. Other direction. I'm really surprised I didn't wake up and have spiders and shit crawling on me last night. They're all over the place. Little things on the ground. I saw that little whitish crab spider that I mentioned yesterday. I saw that when I was putting the tent up, and I'm really surprised that I didn't
that some critters crawling on me didn't wake me up. No ants, nothing. Where I used to live in southern Maine, I'd have been covered with ticks. Lyme disease on legs. And but we don't have deer ticks up here yet. They're probably moving. They weren't up in my old section of Maine when I was a kid. Or Lyme disease wasn't. Maybe I should say that. But I'm pretty sure we had. No, I don't remember ever getting ticks on like Boy Scout stuff. What we do have are called winter ticks or moose ticks, and they only really bother moose and deer. They don't really bother deer too much because the deer have been exposed to them longer, but so they don't know why. But oh, you know what? Maybe that's something else. That's the brainworm, and that is a thing. Moose die of brainworms, but the deer, their immune systems have learned over time to attack them. Moose have not been exposed to them for that long. Okay, so I was wrong. It was the brainworm that's killing the moose. One of the things that's killing the moose. The deer ticks are, the moose ticks or winter ticks are another. And those are tiny, tiny little things. And they don't really bother people. I mean, there'll be a cluster of them hanging on a branch or something, low, a few feet off the ground, 6 feet up, something. And when something brushes by or goes by and brushes the branch, they'll attach and then find a place to burrow in. They don't burrow in on people. They only attack. They only feed off moose and deer, or moose actually. I think it's just moose. But the problem with those is there are a lot of them, and they'll trap or tranquilize moose to tag them, and they'll have 50, 60, 70,000, yes, 1,000 with a T and 3 zeros stuck on them, attached to them, and they'll drain. They affect them in two ways. First of all, they itch. They bother the moose. So the moose rub up against trees and stuff, and to rub them off, well, they also rub their fur off. And if their fur doesn't grow back, that's a problem in winter. You'll see a lot of them. You'll see moose out here that are like white in their hindquarters because their fur is off, and you're seeing their skin whitish. And the other way they kill them, and this is more with calves, is just from blood loss. There'll be so many of them on there that they'll take too much blood. And there was a year, not too, I don't know, since I've been up here, so about a little under 8 years. There was a year where they found 90% of the tagged calves born that year had died from anemia due to winter ticks. So the most vulnerable ones get the most ticks. And you're kind of surprised you don't see like those birds that sit on like rhinos and stuff in Africa and eat parasites. Boy, if there was like a tick-eating bird, I guess they would all eat them, but there needs to be a bird that develops a symbiotic relationship with moose and grooms the ticks off them in return for protection from whatever predators. Because whatever eats that bird is not going to go try to eat that bird when it's perched on a angry moose's back. All right, I guess it's time to eat this. Yeah, see, that's good, and that's not too watery. So that's a pretty good. It doesn't look too watery anyway. I was a little concerned that there might be too much crunchy stuff, but the crunchy stuff is supposed to be crunchy, the onions. Potatoes are pretty firm. Must be celery. There's a pepper. I guess ideally, most vegetables, well, maybe not most. I don't think I want a crisp tomato, but most vegetables, peppers, onions, carrots, whatever, celery, supposed to be crispy. So, but it's a small price to pay for the rest of the stuff in there. I need to learn more bird calls. Just interesting. It's just interesting. It'd be interesting to know what's around here. I hear all these things, and we always just called any bird you really couldn't identify was a tree squeak. So we used to get that was another name we used to tease a kid about. Told her actually was a bird called a tree squeak, and if you listen, they only make noise when it's windy. And you listen, and it was actually the noise of the trees kind of creaking in the wind. But we used to try to tell them it was a bird. So I tried to send him on a snipe hunt. I fell for that when I was like 10 years old in Boy Scouts. They had me out in the woods at night. They were camping. They had me out in the woods with a net, a flashlight behind it, and whistling some ridiculous bird snipe call. Told me the bird would go to the light and get caught in the net. Man, I was out there half the friggin' night. Dummy. You know, having a good old time around the fire. Everyone toasting marshmallows. I'm listening to Phil whistling like an idiot out in the woods. All right, I guess it's time to start packing stuff away. Actually, first I'm gonna wash off my spoon, and gas goes in, stove goes in, just a little. There, you gotta kind of fit it in there. The lid doesn't quite stay on, but with the gas can, I need to get one of those little smaller 4-ounce, 113 milliliter gas canisters. But I get what they have at the places where I go. Yeah, so this is, I think this is going to be not my only, obviously, but this is going to be a place I need to come and do some more exploring in. All right, so that's everything for that, yes. I think that's it. I think I'm gonna drink some water, bring all this stuff down, start putting it together, putting it in the pack, I should say, and get everything packed up. So I don't know if I showed last night, but there's my little tent site where I go. So all right, well, I am gonna shut this off. Maybe I'll get video of packing up. I don't know, but maybe I'll get some walking out. I don't know, but I just said that. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm done for now. I'll be back at some future time. Turn this on. Turn this off. Later. sort of tucked away. Nothing's good. They're all about the same length. So. Oh, I gotta take some of my painkillers for my knees this morning too. I didn't take any last night. I'm surprised they're okay. I'm gonna put my other jacket on just for the time being anyway. Shirt is fine for when I'm walking, but just being still, it's a little light. I let that toggle down last night. When I got up to go to the bathroom, let that toggle down, and man, it took forever. One of my other tents, see, this is the hands are all sore all the time. But one of my other tents, I used to think, oh, why do you need that? That's just dumb. Use these toggles. It has a magnetic toggle strap on it. It is not dumb. It's the greatest thing ever. You just easy for arthritic fingers, cold fingers. Overall, very good. Very good idea somebody came up with. Goodbye, air. We need to make the bags for these sleeping pads a little longer, so when you put it away by hand instead of by machine like they do, it fits in there correctly. Roll this sucker up, push the air out as it goes, and it should, with any luck, fit inside the bag. Food goes next. Food, air mattress, pump sack, sleeping layer, stove, Yeah, that's got the more tacky side to it. So remember to do it when you set things up right. They tend to work better. Who'd have thought? Then the what's next? The other stuff. All right, so my hammer. Use my hammer to hold my trash down. Spare socks. Electronics bag. Gonna take care of one little personal hygiene thing. And brush the teeth. Anything else need to go in there? No. Trowel, my poop shovel. They have those little aluminum ones you see. I don't trust aluminum and a little aluminum poop shovel in rocky ground like we have here. So I bring an actual garden trowel just in case. All right, so time to pack up the tripod, put that in the back pocket, and call it a day. Call it a morning. So I will. I'm gonna hike on back, and this is probably gonna be it. I'm not gonna really see anything interesting enough to talk about on the way, and I'll be breathing instead of talking anyway. So thanks for being along with me, and I hope we get to do this again soon. Later. All right, so I happen to look down. Hang on, get my glasses where I can use them. I just happened to look down on my way back, and here is an old bear footprint. Not old, but you know, from the last time this was wet. So you can see it. Toe and claw, toe and claw. That's that. There's probably a front foot. The hind feet, I think, are more human foot shaped. But yeah, and there's another one about 2 feet away up here. Yeah, you can just see it. It's not the most distinct because, you know, the mud kind of collapsed and everything, but dried out and it changed the shape a little bit. Yeah, so there are black bears around here. I'm just glad one didn't decide to eat me last night.